Right, 29 January 2024, and today I'm going to be having an evening update, and I've got a number of updates that I need to provide you with, and this is very, very important information. I'm always excited to bring you the latest news regarding what is happening in the CCC. So, as you know, Nelson Chamisa has quit as CCC president, and there has been a fallout from all this that has happened, the quitting of Nelson Chamisa, and many people are asking what is going to happen next. And I'm going to give you that update. I'm going to let you know what is going to happen starting tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of activities, so apologies for this. There's going to be a lot of movement tomorrow. This is the beginning of everything that we've been talking about last week. Is going to happen starting tomorrow. So today I have called a number of people. As I promised in the morning, I phoned all the people that know. I phoned Promise Mkwananzi. I have phoned Ostalos. I phoned Chamisa. I phoned people around Chamisa. I've also talked to a lot of MPs. So after all those calls, I was unable to get hold of Promise Mkwananzi. I was unable to get hold of a lot of other people. No one wants to talk. And this is very, very unfortunate because I then have to go to other sources for information. And I've managed to get the information that we need. And it is as follows. Tomorrow, there's going to be a meeting of the MPs and the Citizen National Assembly. So the MPs of the CCC and those in the Citizen National Assembly are going to meet. And you know that the Citizens National Assembly is quite a small body. It's not everybody. So that meeting, the purpose of that meeting is to close the vacuum that has been created by the leaving of Nelson Chamisa. So you're going to see after that meeting an announcement of some sort regarding the leadership of the CCC. So the CCC MPs that have been left have been trying to get hold of Nelson Chamisa. Nelson Chamisa has not been picking up his phone, and he has not been talking to anyone. So there has been desperate attempts to get hold of Nelson Chamisa, and he's not answering his phone. No one knows what is going on with him. However, someone managed to talk to a relative of Nelson Chamisa, someone who's close to where Nelson Chamisa is. And that person said Chamisa is fine, but they were unable to talk to him. So the people were unable to talk to Chamisa, and all the MPs were trying to do is to prove that Nelson Chamisa is there and he's fine. Nothing has happened to Nelson Chamisa. But unfortunately, he's not talking to anyone. He's not giving direction. He's not responding to his phone call. I personally phoned Nelson Chamisa today, and he's not picking up his phone. I also phoned people around Nelson Chamisa. No one is picking up their phone. So these MPs are sitting there and they don't have direction. They don't know what to do. And they don't know what is going to happen next. So tomorrow, that meeting of the Citizen National Assembly is valid. That announcement that you saw is valid. There's going to be a meeting of the Citizen National Council. And if you are an MP of the CCC, you need to call someone like Promise Mkwananzi. You need to call someone like Ostalos. You need to call the people that you know who are close to Nelson Chamisa. If you want to get direction, the direction is going to come from that meeting. That is going to happen tomorrow. And there's going to be some sort of leadership that is going to be elected tomorrow to replace Nelson Chamisa. And in my view, and as I've said a lot of times, there is something that has happened to Nelson Chamisa. Unfortunately, we don't know what it is. Something has happened to Nelson Chamisa. It's not the Nelson Chamisa that you know who is doing this. It's something has happened to him. He's not just sitting there hiding. And it is a matter of great concern. Something has happened to Chamisa. He's not communicating. He's not going out to his people. He's not talking. And do not think that Chamisa is going to come out and say something groundbreaking or form something big right now. So this is the understanding that I have. There is no one who's sitting there with Nelson Chamisa strategizing. and creating. So that is not happening. There is nothing in the works, nothing being cooked. Basically, that is the information that I've got. It's just silence from the side of Nelson Chamisa. And if you're an MP of the CCC, tomorrow get hold of Ostalos or Promise or the people that you know that are close to the Citizens National Assembly and ask to be in that meeting. Then you will get your answers. The answers are going to come from the meeting that is going to be held tomorrow, not from Chamisa. It's not coming from Chamisa. There is nothing that is going to be announced from Chamisa anytime soon. I now need to run through other important events around the CCC, and let's start with Chibaya. There is a court case, a Supreme Court case, where the CCC is challenging the authority of Chawangu to remove them from the ballot paper. Chibaya has filed the court case in the Supreme Court. That court case is going to be heard before the end of this week. So I have asked the people who talk to me to say, since Chamisa has an affidavit there in the Supreme Court, what is going to happen? So if you have Chibaya's number, you can ask him, find out what is happening with the 23 record MPs who are supposed to contest on the weekend. Chamisa has put an affidavit, and this court case is going to be heard before the Saturday by-elections. So let's hear what happens there. Chibaya is probably going to provide us with an update, and obviously, most likely they are going to lose, because if Chamisa has quit and there's no one else, then Chawangu automatically takes over, and this is where they need to close this gap, because the CCC constitution is very, very clear. It is centered around Nelson Chamisa. So one of the things that they need to do is to recreate the CCC constitution, or to modify or edit the CCC constitution. This is critical. It needs to be done. But as we speak, the CCC is in court before Friday. They're going to be in court, in the Supreme Court, challenging Chawangu's recall or the removal of the MPs from the ballot or for this weekend's by-election. Then let's go to the issue of Promise Mkwananzi. Promise Mkwananzi has denied that he is the one who is going to be president of the CCC. But I suggest in my own prediction that Promise Mkwananzi is in the running to be the interim president that is going to be elected tomorrow. So Promise Mkwananzi is probably going to act up as the interim president if it does not appear at that meeting. Because what has happened is that there has been an agreement among the MPs that are in parliament that they need to form some sort of committee and approach the Chawangu side and have some agreement of some sort of negotiation where those that are on the Chamisa side are allowed to stay in parliament if they do not oppose Chawangu openly. But also at the same time, it should be known to Chamisa that these people support him. They have not abandoned Chamisa. Being in parliament does not mean that they've abandoned Chamisa. So there's a steering committee of some sort that is going to be formed tomorrow. And Promise Mkwananzi is quite high up in the possibility of becoming the leader of that interim structure that is going to be created tomorrow, which is going to negotiate with Chawangu so that they allow these guys who are in parliament to stay without being fired. And if you're looking at Chinomdayo Ishechinyoka's Twitter, you will see that ZANU-PF had made a contingency plan so that if everyone had quit, what they were going to do is they were going to change the situation so that if an MP quits, he will just be replaced by another CCC MP, and there's not going to be any by-election. So you can go and look at Chinomdayo Ishechinyoka's Twitter and see what he was proposing there. Chinomdayo Ishechinyoka is Mnangagwa's lawyer from the past. I don't know if he's still Mnangagwa's lawyer, but they proposed that instead of having by-elections, if someone like, let's say, Fadzai Maher was to quit, they would then just ask the CCC to replace that person. I don't know how constitutional it is, but he had put a copy of the constitution on that proposal that he put on Twitter. It's quite long. You can go and have a look at it. If you don't have it on Twitter, you can go to gambako.com and type Tinomdaishe Chinyoka. You'll see that we've put this proposal on gambako.com. And then finally, a meeting of the CCC of Chabang was held in Bulawayo, and this was done yesterday. Chabang was not at the meeting, but a representative of Tendai Biti was at the meeting. And Chabang, I don't know where he was at that meeting, but there has been a lot of work taking place on the Chabang side. They are preparing lists, they are preparing to totally take over, and they're preparing to get out of all the court cases. So I'm sure there's going to be court processes to take place to dispose of everything that Chamisa had taken to court, because now he's not there anymore. So if Chamisa is not there, whoever is going to take over, they will just substitute that person. Where it says Advocate Nelson Chamisa, they'll just say whoever is president is going to be representing the CCC. So this is what we have. Let me recap and then let's shut this down. So the Citizen National Assembly is going to meet tomorrow with the MPs who are on Chamisa's side. So this meeting has been set up by people who are on Chamisa's side. Professor Mkwananzi is probably going to emerge as the leader or the interim leader at that particular meeting, but I do not know. I've tried to call Promise Mkwananzi. He's not picking up my phone. As soon as he picks, we'll see what he says, but I don't think he's going to give us the answer to say this is what is going to happen. Chibaya is in court, Supreme Court. They're trying to stay on the ballot for this weekend's by-elections. Chamisa is not talking to anybody, he's not responding to calls. The MPs have asked for proof of life, and the only way that they were able to, the proof of life that they were able to get was they talked to the relative, and I understand that the relative was able to give Chamisa a phone and they talked to him. So that is what I heard from people that know the situation. I tried to call Chamisa myself, but I was unable to talk to him. And then a CCC meeting of Chabang was held yesterday or a day before. I'm not sure which exact date, but Chabang was not at that meeting. That meeting had a representative of Tendai Biti. So this is what we have for today. And I would like to think that this is sufficient update. Let's then wait for that meeting of the CCC, Citizens National Assembly. And you must understand that the CCC that we're talking about here is the one that was there for Chamisa. But we are anticipating that Tendai Biti, by the end of the week, will come up with an announcement. Because if Tendai Biti does not come up with an announcement, then Promise Mkwananzi is probably going to be your leader of the CCC by the end of this week. This is what it is. And very, very interesting. We don't have anyone right now with the stature of Promise Mkwananzi in the CCC. Fadzai Mahere has left. And the rest of the guys who are there are basically very, very junior. So if Tendai Biti and Washman Ngube and Chabang don't come up with an announcement, you can expect Promise Mkwananzi to take over where Chamisa was. But I do not see that happening. Tendai Biti is not going to allow that. And Ngube is not going to allow that. There is going to be some maneuvering that is going to need to take place. Everyone will eventually have to talk. They'll eventually have to come together under a new leader and leading up to a Congress, because Chamisa is missing in action. I've been saying this since the 15th of December. What happened to Chamisa? Something has happened to Chamisa. If anyone can tell you that they've sat down and talked to Chamisa and they've had a coherent conversation, lift your hand up and let me know. Because for everyone that I'm talking to, they're just telling me they had this and had that. And until we see Chamisa standing up and talking with no one on his left, with no one on his right, then we'll know that Chamisa is fine. But what I'm seeing right now is Chamisa in between some books and all that. I want to see Chamisa on a stage, walking and talking and without anyone interfering with him. As far as I'm concerned, right now Chamisa is under duress somewhere. All right, let's now look at the comments. Gambako, you are good at exploring blind spots. Yes, thank you very much, my brother. Gambako Media is a spiritual channel. And I can tell you that the things that I see that other people don't see are amazing. Like when I told you guys that Chamisa was not visible, something had happened to him. Most of you didn't believe it. here it is. Something has happened to Chamisa, and I believe that we're going to find out very, very soon what it is. Then the CNA meeting is important and lead the way forward. Yes, I agree. MPs of Chamisa, please go to this meeting and let's have a conclusion. BT, he needs to come up. He cannot be in the shadows. Nube needs to come up. Chabangu, everybody needs to come up and we'll get an answer before the end of this week. This is not comfortable. The MPs are hurting. They are hurting very, very terribly. And people are defending Chamisa, who is not there. I've been called by guys to say, why don't we find out where is Chamisa? Is he fine? And unfortunately, I don't have the means beyond just trying to call everyone to know what is happening. But I know that something has happened. Like I told you in December, something has happened to Chamisa. But no one wants to say what it is. Then let's look at e.g. what is the difference between a movement and institute? Chamisa's way forward is that Zimbabwe needs a movement, not an institute to be freed, i.e. Chimurenga. Chamisa is not around. That is the problem. E.g., let me explain to you what is happening. Ask any MP of the CCC if they've talked to Chamisa and received a direction to say, do this after you quit. None has received it. So as far as we're concerned, Chamisa is missing. He's not there. So whatever you wish or want Chamisa to do, he's not there to do it. So people have to act. They have to do something. You can't just sit there and say, what Chamisa wanted this, Chamisa is the best. He is the best, but he's not there. You see. Now, is Chamisa Zimbabwe? Where was this relative who talked on the phone? I don't know. These days, anyone can talk from WhatsApp anyway. But if you call me, Mukoma, well done. We can have a chat over this thing. I'm still trying to find out. But what I know is that many MPs are hating because they feel like they are betraying Chamisa. But they are not betraying Chamisa. They are just trying to stay in parliament. And people are giving them so much pressure. And some people are even in danger right now. So Chamisa is endangering people from the supporters, those who have not quit. We need him to come out and speak if he's fine, so that people can be free. Because right now, what is happening is everything is up in the air, and that is not fine. Chamisa needs to do something if he's well. But I do not think he's well. I think something has happened to Chamisa. If it is not something physical, then he's under duress, and we need to address that situation. And then Fadzwa Nashe says, Gamba Kwe, Chamisa doesn't want to talk to you. Then let him talk to you. Did you hear that? Fadzwa Nashe. If Chamisa doesn't want to talk to me, let him talk to you. And let's see how that is going to go. So anyone here who wants to talk to Chamisa, call and talk to him. Then let me know how it goes if you manage to talk to him. Because at the moment, there is not a single person in the CCC who has talked to Chamisa. If someone has talked to Chamisa here, we are 1,000 now. Tell me if you've talked to Chamisa and what he said to you. So I've been saying this since when? Since 15 December, when we first said Chamisa is missing. The reason why we said Chamisa is missing is because there were multiple court cases going on. There were by-elections, and Chamisa was missing, was nowhere to be found. Similar situation right now. Where is Chamisa? Answer the question. Chamisa has resigned by a letter. There is a letter right now, a fake letter from Promise Mkwananzi declaring himself president. Who is to say that someone has not taken over Chamisa's phone and is tweeting on his behalf? And this is crazy. Someone says Chamisa is talking to Fadzai Mahere only, right? So let's phone Mahere now. Okay. I want you guys to say if Mahere is going to answer this call. Let's tell us, Mahere, if Chamisa is fine. Do you guys want me to phone Mahere? Okay, she's blocked me, right? I'm so sorry, guys. I think we have to end it here. I'll never phone Mahere. I'll never phone these guys. You know why? I'll get the information that I need. And Gambakwe Media is going to be the place where you're going to get that information. If the CCC guys of Chamisa don't come out, there is going to be emerged a new leader. And that new leader is going to take us forward. Do not for a moment believe that anything can happen right now within the next few months where we won't end up with a new leader. We will end up with a new leader. and the new opposition leader is going to take us forward. We have to develop a new political culture in Zimbabwe where leadership is answerable to the people. And we need that to be answerable to the people. We need leaders to be challenged. And I'm going to support democracy in the way that is supposed to be supported. Right, I want to end with this comment. Please, Gabakwe, please, Chamisa Kana, Twitter, Gatibati. Yes, if Chamisa is watching this, let him call someone to confirm his presence. Let him come out in the open and give people direction. And that is where we need to go. But do not expect the CCC to die. We will not allow the CCC to die. As long as I'm here and all the guys that I know are there, we're not going to allow the CCC to die. If ZANU-PF has killed Chamisa, thinking that the CCC is going to be dead, we're going to revive it. And someone else is going to come up in that position. And it's going to be all good. He is under house arrest. That is what Nkoma Wine is saying. Bobby Wine is under house arrest. It's like that. Many people in Uganda have been killed since that election. And I would feel very bad if all the people that are around here just didn't do anything. Those who know Chamisa's house, drive over there and see that is fine. And let us all make sure that the man is okay. I do not believe that Chamisa is the man who can just sit there and let this whole thing unravel like this, the way it is doing. So if Maher is the only person who talks to Chamisa, please go to his house and tell us that he is fine. Maher wrote a letter from Parliament. Tell people what's going on, please, so that people can know and move on. And do this for your parliamentarians. Don't do this for Gambagwe. Do this for the people in your own party so that they know what is going on. Do not keep the silence that is over there. So I'm going to end it here. You know that I always come early in the morning, and this whole thing is taking a toll on my health, and I've decided to scrap the whole PhD thing. I can't do this, guys. I'm quitting. I'm leaving this PhD thing. I can't do it. I'm going to just do my media thing. I'm tired. I can't be reading like a school kid anymore. I'm fed up. So this is it. This is Gambagwe Chamisa is under house arrest. I can see. Okay, I think we all agree Maher is assigned. Advocate Maher will assign you to go and find Chamisa and tell us what's going on and make people at ease. And please attend that meeting tomorrow of the CNA and let's have a semblance of dignity on that meeting. We want to have the right people at that meeting. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. And I'll be back here tomorrow morning with more updates. I'm sure the newspaper guys will have something new. We'll give you an update of whatever they found. Thank you very much, everybody. And before I go, there is an interview that was done today by Trevor Ngube. Please go and have a look. Very interesting new interview that he did. Trevor Ngube is back. I said Mnangagwa fired him after he criticized him. So true. He's back. So go and look at the interview that he did today with the former CEO of Lafarge. She has gone through a lot, and you'll be very interested in seeing that interview. Thank you very much, everybody, and a good night.